But in general, especially with the locks on the table, it's not necessary. You can just reach around and you can feel the difference between, well, that one's kind of springy, and there's this other one and it feels, more friction, but it's not like completely stopped, like trying to cross the shoe. So you can feel it. It does take a while to get oriented to that, so just practice and play with it, and eventually over time. So one thing you need to watch out for, though, is if you are lifting a pin stack up and you don't happen to notice when it is set, and if you keep on lifting that same pin stack, then it will be overlifted. And that'll make it so that the key pin, the one on the bottom, is crossing the shear line. So if that was the binding pin stack, then you lifted it up so that the key pin is crossing the shear line, so it can probably continue to be the binding pin stack. That means that you won't be able to set any other pin stacks, and the lock won't be able to open because you've got this key pin crossing the shear line, preventing the club from rotating. You won't be able to open this lock until you reset it, until you let all the pin stacks drop. So that's when you want to release all the force with the torsion tool, possibly even wiggle it around to make sure all of the pin stacks drop back down if the lock is a little bit gummy or something. And start again.
Oh, those are very tight.
So if you've been picking for a while and it feels like all of the pin stacks that are movable at this point just kind of feel springy, then chances are, if you don't feel any binding pin stacks anymore, that something's been overlifted or you have some sort of other problem and it's time to reset. So some other tools that people use, the rake tool is pretty fantastic. It's able to manipulate more than one pin stack at the same time. Here you can see is in direct contact with 3, almost 4 pin stacks. And so that's great for trying a lot of combinations. It's like simulating a whole bunch of different key cuts in a really short period of time just by wiggling it around. So it can be really fast in a lot. Here's a little animated thing. So you notice how it's just kind of randomly moving pin stacks around. And it doesn't have to be in the position that exactly simulates the key, because it can still do the same thing that we were seeing before, where it's setting one pin stack before the other. And notice how fast this is. It can be just that fast in your life. So raking is considered by some as having less art, but it's very effective. So, okay, that was the rake, or S-rake, or snake rake that we were just seeing. Earlier in the animation, we were looking at the hook, which is the one on the left here, or hook pick. And now the one in the middle is the half fragment. It's a really great tool because it does sort of dual duty. It can be used as a rake, because it can manipulate a bunch of pin stacks at the same time. But it can also be used for incremental lifting, just like with the hook. So you can lift one pin stack at a time, or you can push and pull, rake and shovel to do it. So